organizations must have to these changes. So basically, we're looking at the types of environment. You have the internal environment, and then you have the external environment. For the internal environment, you have 5 major variables within that organization that would affect the business environment. And this consists of the objective of the company, the structure, the task that you're assigned to, the technology that is being used, and of course, the most important is the people. All of these internal variables are interrelated. A change in one of the variables affects others to some degree. If it has a negative effect on one variable, it may impede the achievement of the organizational objective. For the external environment, we have the direct tax environment, which is made up of customers, competitors, suppliers, and government agencies. Of these, the government agencies regulate the activities of business through politics and laws, which has great influence on the business. For the indirect environment, it covers a wide dimension, which is economical, technological, social, and ethnical, political dimension, governments, and of course, the international environment. All these are factors that affect the business environment. Now, for every organization to perform, you want to minimize your costs. So you want to make profit. So basically, we're looking at a situation whereby the organization wants to use at least the least minimum resources to achieve its objective and at the end of the day, make profit. What is the effect of the business environment on the organizational performance? Business environment and its application works. We have an author who wrote and talked about the pattern of management. Basically, he looked at high-performing managers. For you to be a manager, you need to be able to drive your subordinates. You need to be able to motivate them. You need to be able to encourage them. And it was found out in his research that most of the people, organizations that were doing well, had managers that were encouraging their workers and motivating them. Also, it talked about support system. When you have a manager or a supervisor who backs you up and encourages you, you find out that such organizations, they do very well. Now, businesses, for them to improve or to make profit, it's important that everything has to work hand in hand. Like in my organization, for example, you find out that some people, because they've been there for a long time, they believe that, oh, they already know who and who is in the organization, but that shouldn't be the case. It should be on performance level. So the issue of having a godfather or godfatherism should not come in. People should be encouraged. People should be motivated. If you are encouraged and you're motivated, you'll do more. Even if you're a new staff and you come in and you perform and you are promoted immediately, it would encourage you to do more. But a lot of times you find out that people believe that, oh, because I've been in this system, I know how it works. Now, what is the implication of the business environment to organization in Nigeria? It showed that in the 80s, a lot of people, before the 1980s, the oil boom period, a lot of businesses were making money because there was a lot of money coming from the reserves from the sale of oil price. And of course, a lot of businesses were doing well. However, much later, during the 80s, found out that the foreign exchange crisis came in and a lot of businesses started going under. And from that time, a lot of people have not recovered from the business environment. Also, even as far between 2000 and 2008, with all the decline in dollar and the strength of the purchasing power, a lot of people were not doing business, people were not importing, people were not exporting. The purchasing power was really low. And this has really affected, the business environment of the organization. Now, some of the implications to organizations in Nigeria is that, you have the economical factors. Since a lot of companies were finding it difficult to survive, they could no longer produce goods or services, and hence, you had mass unemployment, you had people being forced to leave their jobs and all that. And so some of the factors that came up are economical factors, psychological factors, historical factor, and then government attitudes to foreign goods. For example, in Nigeria, we still believe that foreign goods are better than the locally produced goods. And so you find out that most people tend to still go for the foreign ones, even though they are far more expensive and they might not even be as good as the ones that are produced locally. Basically, for my research, what I did was use my office, Union Bank of Nigeria, as a case study. Basically, from a random sampling of about 62 people in different departments, gave out questionnaires and tried to get information, what they think are the factors that are making our business environment to be unstable, and what is causing problem in the system in Nigeria. So basically, I used questionnaire, and also the sources of data also included materials and journals. The summary of the research, I don't have the statistics on the PowerPoint, is basically, we've seen that the major factors that affect every business are both the external and the internal. And it shows that for any business to survive, you need to be able to understand what business environment you're operating in. And you also need to determine the impact of your business environment and how it will affect your organization. So there's need to have like a research department that would learn what are the things that can help improve your processes, your people, be it within or outside the organization. Like recently we had the central bank law, which forced a lot of banks to come together because there was crisis, there was liquidity problem and all that. So basically all this fused together. You need to understand which business environment you're working with. At the end of the day, some of the recommendations were that companies need to improve the motivation level of their staff. They need to reward them more, and this will in turn bring about staffs that are committed, and at the end of the day, the company will make profit. And of course, managers need to be trained. If you are trained, you'll be able to better manage the resources available to you. For example, like I said earlier on, I'm not being trained by any institution or person. This is something that I've said. I know that it's a global market. I know that I need to grow. So managers in the banking industries or in any service or production industry, they need to train their managers to better manage the resources. Also, I also recommended management should remember to give benefit to workers when they are entitled to it. There are times when workers would have really worked hard, they've done well, they've made profit, but at the end of the day, the profit is shared maybe between the directors or the board, and nothing gets to the staff, the people that did the work. So it's important that staff should be recognized and at the end of the day rewarded. Finally, the organization should learn to consider government policies and regulation because it's very important. This will help build the business since profit margins of the company will not be hindered by regulations. In conclusion, the study focused on the impact of business environment on the organizational performance. Environmental factors, which are the basic problems that company faces, should be well tackled. In the absence of also good infrastructure, if you have dilapidated facilities, you don't have equipment, or you don't have a well digitalized system that is robust